G'day guys, welcome back to the lab. Abby the Barina, roll cage install. Let's look. Before we talk roll cage install, look, more sound dampening removed from the floor. Had to do that. We've got to build some boxes under these roll cage tubes, some feet type things, front and the rear. So needed some of that sound dampening out of the way, and it was actually coming off that easily. I just took the whole lot off. Didn't take that long, so it's no big deal. We've got our FIA approved block of wood system to mount the seat. That'll be awesome. That'll hold up to any crash. That's not going anywhere. We got another one on top of the seat there just to make sure. They're like magnets, they attract to each other. It's just to balance the seat right. If I don't have that there, it'll fall over, so that's why that's there. Seat is positioned pretty much where it's going to go. It looks like that harness bar is really high. With me sitting in the seat, that harness bar, middle of it, is basically level with my shoulders. So by the time we put Mr. Barina owner in there, who's the same size as me, with a race suit on, with a harness device on top of his shoulders, we're going to have slight downhill on the harness, which is pretty much perfect. That's exactly what we want. We're lucky the diagonal didn't come any further this way. It would have been a bit of a nuisance. As it is, the inside or left hand side harness will basically tuck up against the edge of the join there, so that's fine. It won't slide out that way. That's all good. This side may need a clamp to hold the harness nicely on the harness bar. That's what some people do. I've never had an issue with it myself. I don't bother. It's just stopping them sliding around. Door bars, made a start on those. So these are the easier ones, the one piece part of it, and the other two have to join where it is somewhere here, intersect each other, which is, yeah, that's great fun. So they're a bit kinky, see, just to get us some room for the seat, because if you try to run them straight, the seat gets pushed too far that way, and we have issues trying to line up the harness, and we have issues with no space in the middle of the car. I'll show you that. If we look straight down from here, we're very, very close to the center line of the car with that seat as it is there. So if we move it any further inboard, it's going to be game over as far as trying to put a passenger seat in it, because it just won't be the space. Certainly not for that size seat. So that's what you get with a little car. And this is actually smaller than the March. It looks like they might be quite similar size, but this is tiny compared to the March. So I'm just about ready to start welding these lovely notches. Well, see, that's perfect. It's good. And that one down there, well, I'm not going to call that 100% perfect, but it's good. It's about 0.5 millimeter discrepancy in the join there. It's just not quite 100% perfect with the angle of the notch, but it's good enough. It's definitely going to have a nice weld on there. So get those welded in. Like I say, we can move. It's actually pretty easy to do this top one. Should be not bad welding that. I'll be able to do this side here through the window. Once I get around far enough around there, I can see it from this side once the seat's out of the way. So the top ones will be a piece of cake. It's the ones that are going to be down here will be the challenging ones. That's alright, been there, done that. Got it all sussed out, know how it happens. Like I say, these front ones, we'll just pull the cage back and they'll be right out in the open, piece of cake. There's no problems doing those. So before I weld that bar there into place, I need to make sure this bar here is in the right spot, because once that's fully welded, that actually provides some torsional rigidity this way, and this bar at the moment is actually sitting a little bit too far in that way. So I just need to focus on things like that, get everything all sorted out, and we can weld it all together. Jeepers, Glenn, you've gone and built the cage all wrong. Look where the main hoop is and the angle on that. It's the whole point of not having it secure in the vehicle. It makes it easier to get in there and weld under here. You imagine trying to do that on that side at least. The other side, not so bad. But right down in there. The doors aren't as easy to take off, this is what I'd like. Otherwise they would have been out of the way ages ago. But anyway, that's cool. We can do this. Weld those bits up. Jiggle, jiggle, backwards and forwards as required. All good. We're still turning bars into swarf. And short lengths of tube to make a race car into a monkey cage. I mean, a proper race car. Not a monkey cage, don't be mean. I probably need to hurry up if we want this finished this week. I'm not actually spending all day, every day on it, but we're getting there. That's top bars are, well, the other bar rather, it's kinky as well, right, to match this one. Didn't necessarily have to be. Could have gone straight line from there to there, but just to get everything looking right, putting the effort in, a little bit more effort. Same. Make sure the bend is the exact same distance out from there and all that sort of carry on. Everything's all lining up, all nice and as true as it can be. It's goodly. And it's even from t'other side here, because we're not going to get the distance over there, right? Because there's stuff in the way. Look, the centre line of that lines up with the centre line of that. Look at that, it's beautiful. And yes, that's on a different angle to that one. So you can get the feet in the front of the car. If we put this one at the same angle as that, the front of that ends up way up there where that line is. That line that says max, that's the maximum height you're allowed the bars to be. And if you look at the rear ones, they're just tucked in just under that. You get the most triangulation we can possibly get. Obviously with this car and position the seat and all that sort of carry on, there's no way we're going to get our harness bar lined up to the door bars. It's just not going to even be close. Some cars that's possible depending on where you put the main hoop and all that sort of jargon. Right, I'm going to weld that lot up, or at least tack it, and make the other bars to go on this side, and then I guess when I walk out of the workshop tonight it's going to look like a roll cage, and it might be more inspiring for some work tomorrow. I got carried away, of course. I was just going to tack weld those, like I said, and then I was going to make a start on the other side, and then I kind of just finished them. So they're all done except for the one that's got the big explanation mark there on the fluoro tape to say, oh crikey, I just hit my head on the hoist again, to say, hey, I'm not finished. See, that's not finished there, because that bit there's quite hot, as you would expect. It's just been welded up. You boil an egg on that, dicks would fall off, but it's definitely hot. I don't want to be trying to muck around and do this while this is stinking hot, because guaranteed my arm's going to push up against it, or I'll fall over and put my chest on it or something, and bad times will happen. Let's oh, I want to finish. Let's get these bars cut for this other side. We can use these as a bit of a guide for length. You cut them like 15-20 mils longer, just because guaranteed this side's not the same as this side. Doesn't matter how hard you try, there'll be a slight difference between here and here, 5 millimeters or so potentially. So always cut just a little bit longer. You can't cut backwards easily. Well, you can weld tube together, but you're not allowed to for roll cage, right? So let's do that. Yeah, that definitely took longer than I wanted. It's well past 6 o'clock now, but we have got, I haven't tacked these in, I'm not going to weld them in, I'm getting a bit too tired for that sort of thing. We have got door bars in. So we've got main hoop, diagonal, harness bar, door bars, dash bar, windscreen bar, front laterals. That makes, apart from the back stays, which have to go from here up to within 100 of the radius of the top there. If we get those in, that's the principal structure of the roll cage. All that we have to have legally is all in there, except it's floating in thin air. It's got no mount plates on there, no boxes. We'll do those tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get them done tomorrow, and I get the weekend to myself to play with old mate up here. Hopefully it's not feeling neglected and going to throw a tantrum and be mean to me when I try and work on it. Cool, that's looking good. It's looking like starting to look like a proper race car. Awesome. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.